Hello guys and welcome back to the channel. Today I just want to go through something very fun I've been doing the last few days I guess, which is setting up an FX9590, which is an 8-core processor from AMD in their last generation before Ryzen, and tuning it and making it work with Windows 10 on let me just prove it right here, running on a 890 FX chipset. And for those astute among you, you will know that usually you need a 990 FX chipset to run these kind of processor. The 890 FX was made for the Phenom line, not the FX line. However, with some computer magic, I got it to work, specifically through the BIOS option in a beta BIOS from Asus. The specific motherboard I'm running is the Asus Corsair Extreme 4, so it's a very high-end motherboard from way back when. So I've done all my overclocking or stabilization, I guess, because it's not really overclocking, in AMD Overdrive, simply because if I use these same settings in the BIOS, the benchmarks simply showed worse results. So I used AMD Overdrive. So the specific settings I used is I turned off Turbo Core. I raised the CPU multiplier to 24.5 with a reference clock of 200, which gives us a target speed of 4.9 gigahertz. The voltages sit at 1.437, but this is lying. It's really at 1.47, I think, because I use some BIOS options that raise it. I don't really know. Don't ask me, I don't really know. I set the DRAM voltage down from 1.65 to 1.538, and I do believe this reading is accurate. And when we're talking about memory, I am using 1600 megahertz memory. It's showing 800 here, but that's because it's showing the real number, because DDR stands for double data rate. So the manufacturers double the numbers for the megahertz. So when you're buying a 1600 megahertz kit, you're really buying 800, but it's double that in whatever. It's 1600 megahertz. And with the timings, I put it down from 9 to 7, 9 to 8, 24 to 18, and 9 to 8, and 36 to 30. And I am using a command rate of 1, which is down from 2. All this on a single stick of DDR, let's see here, DDR3 memory, which is running right here. You can see the details here, so it's 8 gigabytes. And all of this is the XMP profiles. So, yeah. I guess I can show you what I'm getting purely benchmark-wise. So since I'm recording right now, the benchmarks should be a bit lower than they usually are. But if we go into Cinebench right here, you can see that I did a run just before this recording, and I got a reading of 774, which is fine, I guess. Single core, it's around 120. So it's quite a bit behind in single core performance. But let's just run this and see what we get while we're recording. I am using the graphics card to record, so it shouldn't be too much slower. But the processor has to handle the recording, so there might be some instability. Oh, and most of you are probably aware. Oh, I'm running the 390, the R9 390 as a graphics card, and most of you are aware that both the 9590 and the 390 are very power hungry devices. So you must be thinking that I'm running all this on a very beastly power supply. Not really. I'm running this on a bronze rated 500 watt power supply from, let's see here, from Corsair. So it's an absolutely alright power supply for running all this. But I had to do some tinkering to get it stable. So what I did mainly is in here, in MSI Afterburner, I put down the core voltage to minus 62 with a core clock of 1050 and a memory clock of 1500 with a custom fan profile. And I think that's about it, really. If you have any questions about, setting up a 9590, just ask me in the comments. Yeah, I think that's it. So thank you guys for watching. It was a pleasure having you here. And like and subscribe and do all that good jazz.